Jeremy Vuolo says that Jason Duggar had empty dance floor at his wedding because Duggars don't dance. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Jingar Dugger Vuolo and Jeremy Vuolo are getting candid about the dancing or lack thereof on display at Jason Duggar's recent wedding. The couple shared on their latest The Jingar and Jeremy podcast episode that the dance floor at Jeremy's wedding to Maddie Grace was clear most of the time, except for when the DJ played specific hits. Hardly anybody was dancing Jingar 30 recalled. So there were some times when the DJ would turn on a song and the dance floor would be full cause it was. Like the cha-cha slide, he would turn it on cause it tells you exactly what to do. So all these people would get out there and do it, and then he'd turn on the next song, and there would be no one out there cause no one knows how to dance, or they don't want to get out there and be the only one, she added. Related, Jason Duggar marries Maddie Grace in breathtaking fall-themed mountain wedding exclusive. Jeremy, 37, said that the DJ at the event appeared confused after Jason and Maddie opened up the dance floor to the rest of their wedding guests after their first dance and no one went up. He added that the DJ even played hits like Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline, but there were no takers. I went up to him at one point and I said, "Bro, do you have any idea what you got into at this wedding?" And he said, "No, but it's wild," Jeremy shared. And then I said, "Dude, you just need to know, like, they don't dance." This is the first dance floor at a Duggar wedding, he continued, and he had no idea. Jingar said she didn't dance because she didn't know what I'm doing on the dance floor, but noted that the guests did have some fun when the DJ would play Che Che Slide YMCA or other songs with some dance instructions in the lyrics. When there were instructions for how to do the dance, everybody went out there and it was a lot of fun, she recalled. Dancing is not part of the Duggar culture at all. And so it was just interesting, she explained elsewhere in the podcast. That was an experience. Related, a guide to everyone in the Duggar family. The former reality star tied the knot with Maddie in a fall ceremony joined by 300 of their closest friends and family on October 3, 2024, at the estate at Sweetwater Creek. Several of Jason's family members took part in the wedding party, including brothers James, Justin, and Jackson, and sisters Johanna, Jennifer, Jordan, and Josie, the youngest Duggar. Jedediah also served as best man. The pair first connected on Instagram in December 2023, before Jason popped the question a few months later in August. They shared a joint Instagram post showing snaps from the proposal on the beach, where he created a romantic setup with candles, white flowers, and a lit-up sign reading, "Will you marry me?" Jingar Duggar details horrible living conditions as a child. "We barely had any food." Reading time, 4 minutes. In what may be the least surprising non-bombshell to ever sort of explode on the celebrity gossip scene, Jingar Duggar said recently that it was challenging growing up in a household with 18 other siblings. On an episode of the Jingar and Jeremy podcast, the sixth Duggar child explained to her co-host and husband some of the ways in which it sucked to be a daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. For one thing, the family couldn't afford its current 7,000 square foot home back in the day. As a result, they resided in small rental homes where the children and their parents shared just 2 bathrooms, which led to long lines. "I think when we were younger that was more of a problem, because we only had 2 bathrooms in most of our rental homes," Jingar said on the podcast. "There was constantly a line, and the water would not stay hot very long, so if you wanted to have a hot shower, you needed to be one of the first 2 or 3 in there." Jingar, who tore her family apart in her 2023 memoir, also said she and her brothers and sisters were pretty darn hungry when they were small. "I remember a few times when we were very young, some of my siblings would take their plate of food, get ready for this. It's disgusting in the bathroom. They would carry it and put it on the bathroom counter. My mom would be like, "Don't do that, they're like they're going to eat it," Jingar recalled. That's literally what they thought. I'm not going to be able to eat my food because somebody's going to take it, and we might not have enough for seconds today. Jingar came out with another book last month. Sadly, it didn't contain many scathing revelations like the ones she used to hurl her parents under a bus during this podcast. Continuing on this sad meal theme, Jingar said some of the family's dinners, we'd always try to get whatever we could at Aldi because it was cheap. We would get flats of cans of ravioli and of green beans. Corn, we would eat them out of the can, she said. So ravioli, we would eat it cold, and that was our meal a lot of days. And then we would eat green beans out of the can. And we'd pour salt and vinegar in there, in a can, and just eat it, and that was our favorite. Jingar and her sister did the best they could anytime the siblings went out in public. Jessa and I would usually pack all of the kids' clothes. Sometimes even like the older teenage boys would be like, "Oh, I don't care, just get me clothes that are nice." So we would do the shopping for them a lot of times. We would pack the clothes, Jingar told listeners. Back in the day, we were all about color coordinating everybody, so we would not match. We hated matching, but my parents were like, "We want you to kind of coordinate at least." So we would pick out the outfits, so that way they would be somewhat stylish. So we would look at the Brooks Brothers catalogs. We would be like, "Okay,
Jingar
Duggar
gets
get the
honest
kids
about anger
and
for
we
mom
could
and
not
dad."
afford it, so we would go to
Jingar
the
Duggar
thrift
Vuolo
store
has been
and we'd
sharing
buy whatever
stories
we could
about her
find
difficult
that looked
upbringing
similar
for
to that
quite
some time. She has already released 2 books featuring the harmful teachings of the IBLP and how she found true freedom. Jingar's actions have led to speculations that she resents her parents, but her latest podcast finally puts an end to all the questions. Keep reading to see her answer. Jingar has experienced many struggles in life during her time in Arkansas. One of them was trying to live under the expectations of others. According to the Counting on alum, it has come to a point where she doesn't eat to stay perfectly slim, just like the other church members she saw when she was a teenager. Fortunately, Michelle guided her to overcome her eating disorder. Jingar is one of the few family members who was never a fan of the IBLP's teachings as well. It's known that those who contradict the family's beliefs get estranged, similar to Jill. But Jingar's latest hue and it tells a different story. Jingar Dugger Vuolo recently did a podcast addressing her anger about her parents. The Counting on alum answered no, clarifying that she never had issues with her parents despite her upbringing. She continued, "I can say that very clearly," adding that her parents wanted nothing for them to be successful, which they were promised by the IBLP. Jingar went on to say that a lot of parents who walk into the IBLP's teachings are good people. She admitted that she struggled and faced many challenges while being raised under the IBLP's rules. But she clarified, "I don't have any anger towards them for it because, I just see, they did their best." Jingar continued to share her activities with her family over the past few months, proving that she's still in touch with them. The Counting on alum even celebrated her birthday with the family in Arkansas last December, where she and Jeremy also did their gender reveal party. Jingar Dugger Vuolo has yet to share her future activities with her family. She's been busy endorsing her newest book. The 31-year-old is also expected to welcome her 3rd child in March 2025. Katie Duggar addresses whether she and Jed will have more kids 1 month after giving birth to twins. Katie Duggar has her hands full these days, and she seems to be loving it. After welcoming twin daughters Elsie and Emma last month, she and husband Jed Duggar are now parents to 4 children younger than 3. But amid all the chaos, is she thinking about expanding her family even further? When one fan asked her if she's planning to have more kids during an Instagram Q&A this week, Katie shared where her head is. Katie and Jed brought home their twins in January. Twin girls Emma Kate and Elsie Kate arrived on January 8, 2025. They joined Katie and Jed's older two kids, 2-year-old Truett and 1-year-old Nora. That's a lot of babies under one roof, so is Katie rethinking adding any more to her brood anytime soon? She answered fan questions while her kids were sleeping. One fan asked, "Are y'all done at 4 kids or want more?" And Katie's response was pretty simple. Maybe someday. Some fans believed Jed and Katie were coming for Michelle's crown, attempting to have their own oversized family of 19 or more kids with the pace they were setting, but at this point, that maybe is doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's no surprise if Katie at least wants to pump the brakes for a bit. Having this many kiddos in diapers has to be overwhelming, to say the least. She also opened up about how she's doing 1 month into having 4 kids. It sounds like this mama is tired, but she's making it happen. And in another slide, she shared that her mom and sister have been coming over to help out whenever they can. "I'm doing well overall," she wrote to a fan who asked her how she's holding up. "Of course, I get exhausted and overstimulated with newborns and toddlers that are at a very tender age. Teething has hit us hard. But by God's grace and lots of support from Jed and family plus friends, we are making it." This definitely has to be a challenging time for Katie and Jed, but it won't be like this forever. It'll definitely be interesting to see if they do decide to have more children. One thing's for sure, there must never be a dull moment in their house.